Action.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Starladder Season 8, Day 16 coverage here on Beyond the Summit. I'm Zyori, with me once again is Hippie. We got game 2 of 5 coming at you live here. Team Empire facing off against the mighty Na'Vi. Hippie, my friend, thoughts, predictions, and words coming into this match?
Well, once again, the word appears to be Elder Titan. I'm pretty sure it was Puppy at DreamHack who said, you can't give anyone Elder Titan or you can expect a pretty decent chance of losing.
Not a bad quote, and I can't say I disagree with it, my friend. Let's take a look at some standings here and see what everyone's up to. Right now, Team Empire is 6-4 in the round robin, and Na'Vi sitting 3-1. So Na'Vi only played 4 matches, and still a lot of wiggle room there. But certainly going to be a tough one for him. Empire have been playing reasonably well. 6-4, I would say, not indicative of the way they've been playing. I would have thought that their score would be a little bit better than that, perhaps. But right on that cusp of being able to qualify. So Team Empire, if they could take this, would certainly be a big win in terms of that round robin. So we do have some drafting action underway here. The Enchantress and OD going to be first banned out by Team Empire, and 2 supports from Na'Vi going to be taken out of the pool. That is the Venomancer as well as the Visage. As you mentioned, that first pick, Elder Titan. Alchemist Mirana grabbed by Team Empire, and Crystal Maiden to round things off that second pick for Na'Vi. You know, I want to ask you about this Veno first ban from Na'Vi. How do you feel about Venomancer right now, Hippie? Now that he has been tapped lightly with the nerf stick following 6.79C, do you still find him worthy of that first ban position?
I don't know. I think we'd have to see how much of an effect it actually has on his play. I think teams are still going to be afraid of him for a while, and then they'll start kind of thinking maybe we should let him through and test the waters. I mean, obviously, a night vision nerf is a pretty big thing for everyone. We saw, of course, you know, the whole realignment happened, and now the wards are now properly realigned, now at 800. So it's big, and having his wards give more night vision than anyone else had was a pretty huge advantage. But he still has the most godlike level 1 slow in the game. He still has a huge amount of lane presence. I don't think it's going to make him a bad support. Maybe not first ban anymore. But for now, Na'Vi wants to leave him there.
Yep. Absolutely, and you're right, his slow is still god tier. He's not a bad support, and not what I'm trying to indicate here by any means, but I don't consider him and Visage on the same level. I consider Visage god tier and Venomancer in that B+ tier, maybe a solid A-. He's not that A+ that Visage is still flying around at, but especially now that he's so slow. He's on Crystal Maiden speeds, man. 285 starting speed, that's pretty slow. He's kind of a scooter these days. He needs a little more gas in that engine, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think that's one of the most potent nerfs you can give to him is his move speed, because of the fact that it's going to make it that much harder to position for a good Gale. So it's quite possible that 5 movement speed ends up being very significant. But again, we won't know till we start to see him again. And that Shadow Demon, I really, really like that.
Oh, yeah?
It's a good setup for both the Alchemist and the Mirana. So they have really good setup wherever the Shadow Demon goes. They'll be able to kind of get that started. And just in general, he's nice for a kind of a pick-off hero. And he's someone we don't really see a lot of, but I still think he's pretty strong. You can do a lot with the hero if you have a really good Shadow Demon player.
Yep. Shadow Demon is a pick that we've really been seeing on the rise here as of late, and almost more so defensively than offensively. We've seen those... Sorry, I'm glancing at something. The
defensive disruptions?
No. I'm looking at the amount of frames. So did the stream reset at one point? That's weird.
I don't know.
I didn't notice, but
I wasn't watching the stream.
So some trickery is afoot here. So anyway, Shadow Demon is that hero we've seen picked up a bit more, but it seems more the defensive disruptions to get those resets following big initiations has been his high point more so than that super aggression. But as you mentioned, he does set up very well with the Mirana and the Alchemist. So I think an all-round good pick here for Team Empire. Very similar flavor to that Bane Mirana combo. And, well, we'll see how it works for him. A little bit more difficult to pull off because you have to time that arrow a little bit better. Not quite the same stun where you can just throw the arrow and it has to connect. You got to time it so they pop out of the disruption and get hit in the face by the arrow at the same time. But still, a potent combo nonetheless, Hippie.
Absolutely, and I mean, we talk about the Bane Marana a lot. The Shadow Demon is both weaker because of that, but also stronger because of the fact that you can't take the Nightmare off them with someone who's ranged and just kind of trade it back and forth to try to dodge the arrow. So on the one hand, I mean, you can still kind of block it via positioning, but do you really just want to block the arrow with another hero as opposed to just try to dodge it? Food for thought.
Yeah. So, Luna, not a bad choice. Does pair very well with that Elder Titan, of course. Eclipse mixed with Natural Order does hit pretty hard. Rubik could be a choice here for Empire if they want to grab him as a support. He works pretty well against the Luna as well. We saw some pretty crafty Rubik steals the other day, but no, it is going to be Nyx Assassin is their choice. Nature's Prophet still in the pool, so hopefully deterring that the temptation from Na'Vi. But whoa, a little bit of a curveball here from Na'Vi. The Treant Protector going to be snagged as their 4th pick.
Yeah, that's someone he may have been picked a couple times, but I don't think I've seen him personally ever since the cooldown rebalance on that Living Armor, since it's not just, oh, well, you got Treant, I guess you won all your lanes for free. But, I mean, it's still really potent for aggression and for diving, and I think it's going to be really nice to help prevent the Luna from going down early. And especially, of course, whoever gets hit by that the SD Marana or the SD Alk, or really any of these stun setups, because they have so much good setup. I mean, the SD can set up for the Nyx, or the Nyx, if he lands a decent Impale, because, of course, it's a much easier skill shot than most other things, can then set up for everybody else as well. There's so much good setup that having that damage block anywhere on the map, I think, will actually be really, really valuable for Na'Vi. So I think that's actually pretty cool, and I want it to work for them. I'm not sure it will. I think it depends on just how aggressive Empire is because of the cooldown, because you can apply so much pressure in early levels when it's got that 32-second cooldown.
Yeah.
But I do think it'll be very, very helpful.
Yeah, not a bad pick, just interesting. We haven't seen a lot of Treant Protector play, and I'm trying to remember. I don't think he's not a hero that has been in the Na'Vi repertoire all too much.
Turn to ban.
Yeah, I'm just having flashbacks to those epic Treant Weaver pairings that we saw back in Starladder Season 7, and some of those dirty plays that Weaver could get up to early on, diving towers and such. So he does open up a good bit of aggression potential, even though he is a pretty defensive support. It allows you to dive those towers very vicariously in the early game. But curious what Na'Vi want to do with this final pick. Puck was banned out by Empire. I think a very smart ban here. Would have worked well for their lineup, especially with the Treant Protector Ultimate paired with what could have been a Dream Coil. So kind of curious to see what Na'Vi are going to grab for their mid-hero.
I'm trying to think what might work particularly well. You might want something that can do a little bit of diving. Maybe a Queen of Pain wouldn't be bad. I mean, the mobility is always a nice thing. Gives you some nice bursts, some nice AoE to go with the Treant Protector. And she's someone that, with that Living Armor, can be very potent with diving, just because not only does she have that mobility to get in the first place, she has the good chase damage. She has pretty good base damage, too. I'm also looking forward to see, I think the Elder Titan could be very, very dangerous in concert with this Treant Protector, because if, I assume that's going to be Funnick's hero. And if Funnick, if he stacks up, quite a bit of damage and then just says, okay, I'm in a really good position to chase someone, please just give me the armor, he can just walk in and not care and just hit people for, 120 a shot with his early Elder Titan damage.
Yep.
Might see that happen. He might play a little bit more defensively, but I do think that is an option they have available.
Yep, absolutely. So the Enigma choice here, going to give them a good bit of crowd control and a pretty well-rounded roster. Kind of curious how they're going to lane this, though. Of course, Enigma most likely going to be in the jungle. Maybe it'll be. I
think it's an SD mid.
Yeah,
I think it's an SD mid.
I was thinking Nyx mid, but there are a lot of ways Empire could lane
mid.
this.
Could definitely be Nyx mid as well.
Yeah,
I think Nyx mid actually makes a lot more sense. You're probably right, and is that going to be a Dendi Titan? Dendi never plays Titan.
Well, we'll see. They're going to grab the heroes here. This is
Funnick
crazy.
Carrying because they have a stand-in?
I'm not sure if they have stand-ins. I heard. I didn't check before we started, but
that doesn't look like Havost.
He was asking them to tag up. I know at least one of them. I think Kuroki is here. Havost may have a stand-in. We'll have to check when we get into the game.
Yeah, Kuroki was Gohan. It was his usual icon. He has Navi from Zelda as his icon, so I can always tell when it's him.
Okay, so let's take a look here, and before this game gets too far underway, that's Gohan.
Yeah, beautiful simplicity.
And yeah. Beautiful,
Prepare for battle.
Lacoste. I'm not familiar with.
I've heard the name. I haven't seen him for quite a while.
Beautiful simplicity. All right. He is a guy. So it's not Havost. That's what's important here. It is not Havost. So all right, Na'Vi gonna have a stand-in, and that's very interesting. We'll see how this affects their play. And we'll introduce these rosters here and see how both sides want to lane this. Now, on our rating side, of course, we do have Team Na'Vi. Their stand-in, Beautiful Simplicity, going to be on the Nature's Prophet. He will be in the long lane here, most definitely. Gohan, a.k.a. Kuroki, going to be playing on the Crystal Maiden. We'll see where he ends up. He is still stationed in the base, probably going to be going to that short lane. Dendi is going to be solo mid on that Elder Titan, as you mentioned. An interesting choice, not one we see all too often. Puppy will be the one supporting on the Treant Protector, headed down to that bottom lane as well. And up in the top here, Funnick going to be playing on the Luna. Well, he's up in the top position now, probably going to be moving down to the bottom after these runes spawn. So Funnick going to be on the Luna. A big change of pace for us here with Havost on the sidelines today. On the Dire side, we do have Team Empire. Up top, we've got Silent playing on the hard farming Mirana in the safe lane. In the jungle, it is going to be Always Wanna Fly, playing on the Enigma. In the mid, going to have Resolution, playing on the Alchemist. And in the off lane, it is going to be Mag, playing on the Nyx Assassin. It looks like he will be solo, at least for now. Vanscore, going to be supporting on the Shadow Demon. We'll see where he ends up. Looks like he may start in the top lane for that Mirana setup. So it will be this kind of pseudo-tri lane with Enigma in the jungle. And, of course, Mag off-laning on the Nyx Assassin. And I think Mag going to struggle a little bit in the early phase here. And the long lane Nyx, he can do all right, but Luna as well as Crystal Maiden going to give him a run for the money.
I wonder if Vanscore has a sense that he got scouted picking up that Imdis rune, because he picked it up and during the fade time started to run towards mid, like he was going to set up on Dendi very, very early, and then after he was faded started going back towards top. I wonder if that was to bait Beautiful Simplicity up here and do kind of a false sense of security and try to get the setup, because here he goes.
Yep. And there it is. Disruption going to connect. Silent going to come around. Does have Sacred Arrow level 1. But not going to burn it straight away, and Simplicity just going to get harassed.
Really good micro on those Treants. He summoned them right before the, like right as he was, okay, so you saw Silent trying to go around in position for the arrow. He summoned the Treants as close to him as possible and just put them between him and Silent the entire time. It was really, really excellent usage.
Yep, absolutely right about that, my friend. In the mid lane here, we see Dendi already under heavy pressure from Resolution. He does charge up a Concoction, and that will harass back the mighty Dendi. He is 5-1 on Elder Titan to start things off, 3-0 on the Alchemist. Sort of an interesting mid matchup. Alchemist does fare pretty well against melee heroes. That Acid Spray does help to make his laning phase a bit easier here. But Elder Titan, not a bad mid hero either. Since Astral Spirit has been nerfed, one of the first things Merlini said was that it is going to hurt his mid presence a bit with that damage and lack of scouting. But we'll see how Dendi fares. This is really going to be a treat for us here. Na'Vi playing a much different lineup with different roles than we're used to seeing. So I'm pretty excited. He's off to a good start here against this Alchemist, who's now only 4-0 against the 10-2 Elder Titan.
I think it's actually a good thing for Na'Vi, at least in this particular matchup, that they've been having Funnick start in the safe lane with that Bristleback a lot for their Bristleback strategies. So he's used to playing that safe lane for at least the first 10 minutes. And quite frankly, beyond the first 10 minutes, it's not really generally the same dynamic as it is for those first 10 in the lane. So the fact that he's used to playing the safe lane for at least that amount of time is going to help a lot. Not that he's really getting pressured, but it means he's able to really focus down on what he should be doing, getting the farming done, and make sure he can play that one role with Havost not here.
Absolutely right about that. And I see some people saying in chat, Dendi is also said, I think before, it's kind of like semi-well-known that he really doesn't like playing Elder Titan.
He hates Elder Titan.
Yeah, that's a hero.
Doesn't think it's a fun hero.
He really doesn't enjoy playing, so interesting that they picked him. Just like, come on, Dendi, please, just play him this one time. We really need it, buddy. So, grumpy Dendi, perhaps. Funnick doing okay here in the safe lane, though. He is sitting 12-9 on that hard-farming Luna, and he is doing a good job boxing out that Nyx, as we would expect. Mag, well, under a little bit of pressure here, sitting only 1-1. We see Gohan, a.k.a. Kurogi, stationed about the backside of the trees, but there is a ward down here for Mag, so he knows exactly what's going on. He does have vision. Actually, he's standing in fog right now, but still, Mag knows exactly what's going on down here. A great ward. Going to help his survivability in this long lane. Not going to help his farm, though. It was kind of interesting to see Na'Vi last pick the Nature's Prophet into a Nyx Assassin, because he really does work well to thwart the efforts of that Rat Dota style. Once he hits level 11 and that Vendetta cooldown the duration increases, the cooldown shortens, and, well, he can really just be anywhere, and it makes the efforts of Nature's Prophet so much more risque.
Oh, God. You really did just do that, didn't you? Yeah, I mean, I get what you're going for. I don't think Nyx is so incredibly strong that you can't pick a Furion into him if you think you really need the split push. But I do agree that obviously he poses a greater threat than a lot of heroes. But, no different than someone like a Clinks poses to a Nature's Prophet, or someone like a Bounty Hunter poses. Obviously, they're frustrating heroes to deal with, but you can handle them. It's not like they just outright counter you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. Not the hardest of counters, but still one that we often see the inverse of Nyx picked in an effort to deal with Nature's Prophet, not the opposite. But, Dendi maybe going to be under some pressure here in the mid. Always Want to Fly is going to move out of the jungle. He is level 5, does have the level 2 Malphite here. So maybe looking to put some pressure on this mid Elder Titan. Resolution is indeed going to be nearby. And nope, not going to go for it. Up in the top lane, though, the Mirana Shadow Demon combo going to be successful. They will connect with an arrow onto the Nature's Prophet. The Starstorm comes. Vanscore going to be the one to grab the first blood as they finish off the long lane Elder Titan. Finally, Silent and Vanscore able to make it happen. And they do connect to that arrow. Very nicely done with that classic Mirana Shadow Demon duo.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of surprised he didn't move down to the jungle a little bit sooner. You know how dangerous it is to be up there, and it's not like he's been getting a lot of farm. He's 3-1. He's not really stopping the Mirana from farming. She's 21-12, and yeah, you see him just teleport into the jungle. That death was, I think, a bit of a wake-up call, saying, no, you can't really be here. It's a little too dangerous, and quite frankly, what are you getting done?
Yep. Absolutely right. In the mid lane here, Resolution and Dendi going to go toe-to-toe a little bit. No kill going to come up. Both sides going to struggle to kill each other here in the mid, but still, exchanging blows.
Armor's available.
Yep.
Oh, he doesn't want to dive, though. He's got the spirit wearing off.
Thought they may try and set up a kill onto Mag, but again, this ward here on the other side of the trees, really worth its weight in gold right now. They did make a rotation down, and Mag was just able to easily back up. Really a great placed ward right there. Puppy now level 4 on the Treant. He's doing okay. Let's look at the support levels here. And our Radiant side with a small advantage. Not too much, though. 2 level 4s compared to a 4 and 3. Pretty quiet early game here. 6 minutes, only 1 kill on the field. Gold graph is in favor of Empire, but really just because of the first blood. Same with the experience.
It's pretty nice that they're managing to keep up. I think it's largely thanks to the living armor. I mean, that and the Crystal Maiden makes it very easy for them to kind of team farm the jungle like that. So because the Shadow Demon doesn't really have a good place to get as much experience, they're managing to keep up despite the presence of the Enigma, which is usually, of course, you'd expect Empire to be taking, just slowly kind of sloping down to a lead as opposed to this, you're actually seeing the XP come back up towards Na'Vi after that first blood, and that's because, of course, they have the Furion now who's doing his own jungling. But even before that, Na'Vi was, trading pretty even.
Yep. I Always Want to Fly, he's been doing pretty well. His jungling on Enigma hasn't been the fastest.
Dendi mid.
Yep, we are going to see it here. The smoke comes in from Always Want to Fly and Vanscore. They will set it up with the Shadow Demon. The Uncoction gets charged. Dendi going to fall. They will burn the black hole. Gohan going to port into it. Oh, no. One of the worst ports that Kuroki could have done right there. Nice black hole from Always Want to Fly. When I first thought it was an overkill, but he saw the port coming in. And very nicely done by Always Want to Fly. That'll be an easy 2-for-0 exchange in the mid lane. Empire now starting to pick up some momentum here, Hippie.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what they want to do. If they give their Mirana plenty of space to get farmed quickly, so she can have an impact in the mid game. And if you're running the Alchemist mid, he's not going Greevil's Greed. He's going to go most likely for some mid game oriented stuff. He's going Phase Boots, maybe going to go into his Shadow Blade and just try to put a lot of gank pressure on. Maybe just, pick off the Nature's Prophet and push is probably what I would look for. Or pick off the Luna and push, obviously, is pretty significant too.
Funnick. He just wasted the Eclipse. He tried to dive on it. He burned the Eclipse. Didn't get a single beam off on the Nyx. Now a double damage Resolution going to find him. And that is going to be one dead Luna. The Impale comes in. Nyx Assassin going to grab the kill. Oh, Na'Vi. Not on point today. 0-4 here at the 7.5 minute mark. That Eclipse, though, that was painful to watch.
I didn't actually catch it. I was busy looking up at the Mirana, doing her little thing. But yeah, I mean, Eclipse, you gotta really... Honestly, I think people think, oh man, Luna's mostly just auto-attacking using the same things. She's a really kind of positioning-dependent hero. The Eclipse doesn't have a particularly long range. Her auto-attacks don't have a particularly long range. It's kind of really hard to actually use her properly in team fights because of kind of how much subtle positioning work you have to be doing, and I just don't know how much experience Funnick has on Luna specifically. So maybe he just didn't quite get the range of that properly, because it's not like anyone can escape you when you're Luna. You're the fastest hero in the game.
Absolutely. She is pretty speedy, that's for sure. No doubt about it. So, Funnick's still doing okay in farm, though. He is number 3 on the net worth chart, despite conceding that death and not grabbing a kill on the Nyx Assassin. Staying around that 3.1k mark. Mirana, though, the big winner here, has had a lot of room up in the top lane now that this lane has been abandoned. Nature's Prophet has, of course, moved into the jungle, as we mentioned. And Silent is just soaking up the farm. So this could be a game where, indeed, it will be a hard carry Mirana. He is going to grab the Handamitis recipe. Did not go the super fast Handamitis, though. Did grab Power Treads first and a Basilius. So we're looking at right around a 9-minute, 30-second Hand of Midas, maybe a 10-minute mark, something like that. Not too shabby, especially given that the recipe has been increased in price. There's a nice stack here that they are going to clear out. But not too shabby. I guess Silent pretty comfortable farming away up top, and Empire going to be satisfied stretching this game on a little bit. They will certainly have the carry advantage. Alchemist and Mirana really against the Luna and I guess the Nature's Prophet, and they're off to a great start already. And of course Alchemist now going to have that value point in Grievel's Greed. Going to go 3 points Acid Spray, 4 in the Concoction, and now going to grab the Grievel's Greed, which I do like. I think much more valuable than that 4th point in Acid Spray at this point.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned about the carry advantage, which I do agree with you they would have in just kind of a straight up fight, but just the fact that in the late game, I think unless the Nyx gets some really good picks on that Furion, I think they're going to have trouble dealing with the split push, because it's going to be very, very hard to push uphill, even if they manage to take an advantage into Elder Titan, Luna, Treant, Crystal Maiden. That's a devastating set of heroes to try to fight, even just the 4 of them. And Furion, of course, being able to just get back whenever he wants, bounce the ultimate through, if there's a 5-man commit from Empire to trying to push. I think they really, really need to focus on trying to get enough of an advantage that Furion doesn't get a decent level of farm, and he can't get any split pushing done, because I really do think Empire could get ratted to death around the 35-40 minute mark if they don't keep that under control.
Yeah, it's possible. I have confidence in the Nyx Assassin, but you're certainly right. If they leave Nature's Prophet unchecked, even though they have done well to slow him down, it looks like he may be going for a Midas of his own. Does have about 1,700 in the bank, still has not made an executive decision one way or the other, but it looks like that may be something he wants to grab. In the mid, though, Dendi going to be under heavy assault. The Moonlight Shadow comes out. Black Hole going to be used. This is going to catch both Puppey and Dendi. Dendi going to be the first to fall. Puppey not even level 6, doesn't have the overgrowth, and that's going to be another beautiful Black Hole. Always want to fly, going to walk away with a double kill. That's going to make it 6-0. Empire up over Na'Vi. This is just not the Na'Vi we're used to seeing here. They seem in disarray with that one stand-in. I don't know if that's the case, but oh boy, this Enigma proving to be a very valuable pick here, and it may translate into an early Tier 1 tower kill as well for Empire.
I think Na'Vi has a tendency to kind of a little bit rely on Dendi to get them back in if they start getting beat a little bit in the early game. But Dendi, obviously, he doesn't really like the Elder Titan. I'm sure he's comfortable enough to play it, but I'm not sure he's really comfortable enough. He certainly won't have the impact he'd have on something like a Puck, on something like a TA, something that he's known for really taking advantage of opportunities. Certainly, he's competent with the hero. I mean, he's a professional player. He doesn't play things. You know, Puppey wouldn't draft something Dendi just can't play, but...
Yeah.
Oh.
Funnick going to get picked off in the bottom lane as they try and pressure this tower. It's going to be defended, will be denied, and they get a kill on the Luna. Very nicely done by Empire. They're able to crowd control her down. Didn't even manage to get the Eclipse off. Not sure if he would have blown it anyhow. But I do certainly agree with you, my friend. Elder Titan, although a powerful hero, he is not a great recovery hero. Puck is one that if you grab that blink, you can grab a couple of nice kills perhaps and start to snowball and get your team back in it. There are a lot of mid heroes that can do that. Storm Spirit, another one that can really pick up a lot of momentum. Elder Titan is not the best recovery hero. He's a staple hero. He's good at adding to the team fight presence, but if your team's behind, I'm not sure Dendi can make the big plays needed to really bring them back from a huge deficit, and I think you're spot on with that. The gold lead for Empire continuing to grow here now, about 5,000. Experience lead even scarier now, somewhere around 6,000 or 7,000. And I don't know. Let's take a look at item pickups here. Mirana still with that Hand of Midas, a rotation coming up top. Yep, onto Puppey perhaps.
They're gonna back off.
Yeah, always want to fly looking for it. Again, that mech advantage is a reality here. There is one in the inventory of the Enigma. No mech out for Na'Vi. No one even working towards one. So that will hinder them a bit in these upcoming mid-game team fights, as it seems Empire do want to continue their aggression. And there is a Midas on the Nature's Prophet, so 2 Midas in this game, 1 apiece. That is going to level out kind of that farm difference, and Alchemist with that Grievel's Greed will give Empire a little bit of a farming edge, all things equal. So we'll see. Looks like Na'Vi do want to try to knock down some towers. They are chipping away at this Tier 1 in the mid, slowly but surely. There was a smoke rotation from the bottom lane, but Empire not going to find their opening with Resolution back in the base, forced to retreat, unfortunately. Going that very tanky Alchemist build does have a Vitality Booster and an Ogre Club at the moment, so probably going to be grabbing himself a BKB, the casual Vitality Booster for now, perhaps. And now just going to grab a Plate Mail, so an interesting build. Not interested in finishing items here in the mid-game, just going to go for raw stats, and now going to have a bit of armor to give him some more survivability. While all that was happening, Mirana did grab that Tier 1 tower up in the top lane. So Empire furthering their lead here, as it looks like they may want to make a hold here at this Tier 1 in the mid. They do have Black Hole ready in 10 seconds, so they may well be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't think Na'Vi wants to push into this. I think they know that that black hole is coming off cooldown. You can see them all splitting up. That's most likely, I think, what they were trying to do is get something done before the black hole cooldown was up, and they knew it was going to be coming off. It's a pretty easy ability to time with a 200-second cooldown. You can basically say, all right, we got about 3 minutes to make something happen every time that goes off.
Yeah, absolutely. Just set that little timer. Resolution, going to clear out, it looks like a stack of Ancients. Maybe it was a half stack here. I see some Golems and some Lizards, so going to get a nice little farm boost here. But look at that net worth chart, man. That's where things are really getting scary here. Mirana #1 by a huge margin, 7.5k ahead of the, and at the #1 slot, the leading farmer on Na'Vi is Luna, hovering around that 5k mark. So, I mean, right now, Priestess of the Moon is just about 50% ahead of the leading farmer of Na'Vi and their primary carry. That is definitely scary. Right now, Luna does have a Helm of the Dominator as well as Power Treads, and looks like she is stacking up these Ancients, as she well should. Compliments of that Helm of the Dominator will give them a little bit of recovery farm, but Empire have been stacking their Ancients at least a little bit here, and of course they do have Alchemists to clear those stacks, so all things considered, sort of a wash across the field. But down in the bottom lane, Puppy going to be under heavy assault. He will burn the Overgrowth, and that is going to catch both Mag and Resolution. He'll move behind the trees, and they are not going to pursue. I don't think they have detection. No, they don't. So that Nature's Guise will keep him alive, though it's not skilled up, and I don't think they have that bit of intel, of course, but still, that Nature's Guise not skilled up. Probably going to hold Puppy back here, perhaps. Moonlight Shadow comes out. They are going to dive on him past that tier 1, and this is going to be an easy kill. The Concoction, now Mag going to come in with the Impale, and Alchemist going to be able to finish him off. Easy kills coming out for Empire here. Now going to make it 8-1, is in the mid. Mirana does get, oh, pardon me, that was in the top lane. Luna did manage to pick off Mirana while that was happening. Na'Vi committing to a push in the mid lane. Glyphs comes out, and Empire will hold. Looks like they do have their sights set on Kuroki. Unstable Concoction going to connect. That'll be an easy kill onto the Crystal Maiden here. And they will deny this tier 2 tower. So far, or tier 1 tower, geez, I'm all over the place. Empire so far 2 for 2 on their tier 1 tower denies. Nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, just shut down every little bit of gold Na'Vi you could possibly try to get. You already know that you're playing from an ahead position. Don't give them those chances to catch up. Starve them out a little. Take your map control. Counter their wards if you can. Try and, take a little bit of their jungle if it's safe, but deny those towers.
And they've done that very well. Now just going to move straight into Roshan. Na'Vi not going to have any vision. They've got such little map control right now. Dendi is suspicious, perhaps. He is invisible and will poke his way into the pit, but only going to catch the tail end of it to see that Roshan has fallen. Alchemist going to be the one to grab the Aegis, and that'll be it. There's a Sentry Ward down, though. Dendi going to walk right on top of it. And they're not going to have the crowd control to shut him down, but Dendi living life on the edge. Following Roshan, now Mag going to have a Blink Dagger on the Nyx Assassin to go with his Arcane Boots, so that initiation power from the Nyx is going to become a reality here. He is Vendetta'd up and ready to find some initiation, though I'm not sure he's going to find an opening before it expires. Nope, not going to find it.
I think that's exactly what the pickoff he needs, especially because Luna is going for kind of a squishier build, and she's going for damage items and the Life Leech so she can get her farm faster instead of going for a BKB. With Smoke Gangster, with Vendetta, it's going to be very, very easy for Mag to pressure that Luna, to pressure that Fury, and he's not going for a Shadow Blade or any sort of thing like that. He's going for a Staff of Wizardry, maybe into a Force Staff. Maybe he just wants to go for some support items. He knows he's not getting that level of farm that he needs to be a really potent split pusher in the early game, but at the same time, I think that's what they need him to build, is split push, so it kind of worries me that he can't afford it.
Yeah, and that's going to be an easy kill onto the Nature's Prophet. I have a feeling it'll be a Necronomicon. Force Staff's certainly an option here, but
you're probably right.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't go for it. I agree. I think they're going to need that split pushing prowess that Necronomicon brings to the field. Unfortunately, that is going to slow him down even further. Now Enigma going to be one step closer to the BKB as well. Does have the Ogre Club Mithril Hammer combo and actually 20 gold off the recipe. So that is going to be a BKB for Always Want to Fly. Nice and early for that Enigma. He did have a great early game, as we've noted. Did set up a couple of nice black hole kills. So now things going to be even scarier for Na'Vi. They've had trouble dealing with this black hole already. Now that BKB and Mech is out, going to be even more difficult for him. Alchemist also going to have a very early Assault Kuros here. It has been completed. They're just going to steal this Ancient stack from Na'Vi. This is a great play from Empire. Na'Vi, a little bit frustrated perhaps. They are going to come in. They want to try and find an initiation. Earth Splitter going to come. They're going to do a good bit of damage. Always Want to Fly going to take some damage here as well. Mech gets popped. Out comes the Overgrowth, but there's the black hole. It's going to be a solo black hole onto the Dendi. Luna was the first to fall. Dendi looking like he's going to fall shortly after. And perhaps down he goes. The Mirana does get picked off on the side. Moonlight Shadow has come out already. It is going to cost him their Crystal Maiden. And it's going to be a 3-for-1 to start things off. Resolution in heavy pursuit, though. He is charging that Concoction. Will connect with the Nature's Prophet. Not sure he's going to have the damage to solo him down. Compliments of that living armor. It is going to buy Simplicity a little bit of time here. Not going to be enough, though. Down he goes. A 1 for 4, and Empire clear out most of the Ancient stacks before the fight starts, and they're going to be able to finish it off. Things just looking worse and worse for Na'Vi, and I was going to say we're getting close to that insurmountable lead. They're going to tap out at the 19-minute mark, 14-2. Empire completely wiping the floor with Na'Vi. They did have a stand-in. Havost was not with them, but holy Toledo, rares were lost today in Game 2 of Starladder, Hippie. Empire looking hot.
Yeah, I mean, as weird as it is to see Na'Vi GG out so fast, that Ancient stack was their last hope, man. They needed to get Luna some recovery farms, so it doesn't really surprise me that once it got taken, once they lost that fight, they tapped out. But yeah, I mean, Empire firing on all cylinders, Na'Vi, little shaky. I think it has to come down to Dendi and Funnick were both playing on heroes that I just don't think they're comfortable with. You know, everyone else kind of felt okay, but in the end, 2 players out of their comfort zone is really, really significant when you're up against a team like Empire.
Yeah, absolutely right. Empire have been playing very well. As I mentioned, that 6-4 standing in the round robin is a little a-characteristic, I think. Not a good representation of how well Empire have been playing. And you got to credit Na'Vi for trying to experiment a little bit, but that's what happens when you give Dendi a mid-hero that isn't a great playmaker, so to speak. Nothing like that Puck or the Storm Spirit, as I mentioned. Dendi Elder Titan, not so potent. But alas, guys, that was Game 2 of 5. I am Zyori, with me is Hippie, and we've got 3 more games coming your way here on Beyond the Summit. Thank you for joining us for Starladder Season 8, Day 16 coverage. It will continue on here in about 20 minutes. That was a quick one, so we will have a break coming into game number 3.